in my catch-up of Valiant, I saw that Dan Abnett was back writing Rai, and actually never read his run before. And he's actually one of my favorite writers, period. So I was pretty happy that there's this nice deluxe edition of all of his work. Now, I would not start here if you've not read this. There was a series called 4001 by Matt Kint, and then there was a Rai follow-up series to that. Those are both very important. And then there was a mini-series called War Mother, which was not my favorite, but it does play into this. And so I would make sure to read all of those so you kind of have a background of where this starts, because it really matters. Now, Rai is like a human-robot hybrid kind of thing. And there was a floating continent called New Japan. It fell to Earth, and this is like this dystopian yet science fiction universe-ish. And there was an AI controlling it called Father before, which was really evil and oppressive. And now there's a remnant of Father who shows up in this first series called The Fallen World, where we're getting reintroduced to all these characters. And the Father actually merges with Bloodshot from the earlier Valiant universe to become the Blood Father, which I think is pretty cute. And our new Rai has to go hunt them down. Now, there's some characters that you get introduced to throughout all of this. The entire run in this volume is all drawn by Juan Jose Rip, and I love the art. I think it's fantastic. The original stuff was done by like Clayton Crane in the Matt Kint early stuff, which is really mind-blowing. They set off on a pretty good adventure through this to stop him, and they end up, of course, stopping him. Now, once it ends, Rai and Rai Jin, who's like a little clone brother of his, end up going out because the character of Father gets split into different remnants. And you can see that, like I said, the art's consistent the whole way through. And so you get a Fallen World of 5 issues, 10 issues of the next Rai series that follows, 15 issues of consistent art on the same book. Oh my gosh, like with the same writer. That makes me happy. And if anybody from Valiant watches this, please just keep the same writer on the same book. Don't do fill-in artists. Don't do fill-in issues. Just slow down the pace, so that you can do these, because when you combine this all into one story like this, it just flows so nicely, and it works so well. This is something that modern comics don't do a lot. Now, this character is a little snarkier and has a different attitude than the main Rai character. And so they have a little buddy cop sort of situation as they travel, trying to find remnants of the AI that are out there. And they end up in different situations during that. I love Rai's kind of pseudo old Japanese look combined with some sci-fi stuff. It's pretty good. And they end up meeting some different AI groups and different races and all this. And it's a lot of fun as they do their travels. Now, one of the remnants has formed a group, and he's called the Red King. And he's sending out people to just hunt them down and to stop them as this is all going on. And there's this weird darkness that's going on as well. And some of Rai's people back are trying to hack into things, trying to get Bloodshot back alive, and end up, kind of summoning the last of the Bloodfather here by accident through this. This is kind of the digital world with her, and it's a nice representation. And Rai meets some nice some allies along the way, and they end up having a big confrontation at the end of this as it goes along. Now, it doesn't quite end all the way. It looks like they're about to get discovered, and they ended up misdirecting them so that the bad guy's kind of elsewhere in this whole front. And then Rai ends up having to deal with things on his end of things. And when Bloodshot gets we find out there's a second thing here. Bloodshot's kind of coming back. He inhabits a lady's body, and then on top of this, the darkness that's following everybody around that's causing problems as well, because there's the Red King, and then the darkness is literally Dark, the old Shadow Man villain that seems to still be around in 4001. Now, the new Abnett series is actually follows up on the Dark thing. I have not read it yet. I wanted to read this first, and I definitely think because that is called the Book of Dark or something like that, it seems like it's going to follow up directly on this. I would highly recommend reading this first, and then all the New Japan backstory, because it actually keeps a really good continuity, which is, again, something unusual in comics and fantastic for this 4001 era of Valiant. Is really just top tier all the way around. Except the War Mother one's not that great, but it does play into this, and you'll recognize some characters, so that you should read it. But beyond that, pretty good. So excellent book, excellent work by Dan Abnett, because it is so reliant on the old stuff. You can't really read it on its own. That is something I gotta say, ding it for as a comic book. But beyond that, I loved the art, I loved the writing. And so I call this an 8.5 out of 10 overall. Can't wait to get to the next installment. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.